Can you give me a ride like this? Do you know how to drive like this? Can you feel alive like this? Will you ever love like this? I want you to give me a ride like this. Can you give me a love like this? Do you know how to drive like this? Ever feel alive like this? Have you ever arrived like this? Can you give me a ride 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 like this? This is for all the scooter lovers. Can you give me a ride like this? Do you know how to drive like this? Can you feel alive like this? Will you ever love like this? I want you to give me a ride like this. Can you give me a love like this?
What's up, Spreadsheet Baseball lovers? Welcome to Spreadsheet Baseball 98. What's going on? What's going out there in Radioland? What's everyone doing out there in Radioland? Hello. See, look at this very cute cup. I must drink it with only 2 fingers. From here on in, this is a rule I'm allowed to break, but I declare that from now on I only drink coffee that I can support with 2 fingers. All right, maybe 3 and I can just do the pinky. No, it must be dainty coffee. And I will not be making the switch to espresso. Hot take of the day. Fuck espresso. There, I said it. Fucking said it. You can shut down the internet. I said it. How's everyone doing out there in Radioland? Espresso's a lazy man's coffee. Why do I say that? It takes time to brew a cup of coffee. It takes no time to... This is my impression of espresso. Here's the beans. And then you pour some water on it and go, it's done. There you go. That's my impression of espresso. Beans meet fist. Now drink it. Whereas coffee is more like wine. It must, you taste some of the barrel. This has got hints of oak wood. Espresso, it's like, fuck the brew process. That's my impression of espresso. Thank you. Oh yeah, you want your coffee? Drink it. Oh, you want 2 shots? Here. Psst. Look. This thing, espresso comes out of this thing so dangerous, it might explode. In fact, everyone should leave the building. We're making espresso. I need you to get behind the shield. We're about to make espresso. Oh, you want some fucking steam? You want some steamed milk? There you go. There's fucking coffee. Here's my impression of espresso. That's my tight 5 on coffee and or specifically espresso. My hand hurts. I really did punch the shit out of my hand. I really did punch the living shit out of my own hand. Well, I'm cutting back one dainty coffee at a time. I didn't have coffee yesterday. I am, to be fair, listen, I'm openly in the bargaining stages of my addiction, but you got to go through the bargaining stage. Everyone knows this. If you've watched Intervention on TLC, wherever that show was, it's called Intervention, right? It's like they don't skip the bargaining phase. Everyone knows the phases of addictions. You have to go through the bargaining phase for it to be a proper addiction. So I'm in it. I'm openly in the bargaining phase. I'm making bargains left and right. And I'm enjoying the bargaining phase. I'm enjoying the bargain. Yesterday or the other day I made a rule that I'm only going to have a social coffee. I'm only going to do it if I'm having a conversation with. Well, this counts. I'm conversing with you all, so this counts. So social coffee, tiny coffee rules. Now it's the 2-finger rule. Maybe eventually I'll institute a no coffee rule. Maybe, but we're bargaining here. We're bargaining. We're bargaining. I'm pretty sure I've given up my La Colombe addiction, which is actually a good thing because that was probably killing me. The coffee milkshake was probably not even slowly killing me, was probably rapidly killing me. So I'm happy that I think I'm over it. I still crave the Starbucks Nitro because they're the only ones with Nitro in town. Nitro bullshit. Uh, but, today a tiny coffee with 2 fingers hits the spot. But fuck espresso. I will never be going to the dark side. Fuck espresso. There, I said it. You all were thinking it. You all were thinking it. It's like, of course they use espresso in lattes. You know why? Because you have to douse it in fucking a gallon of milk to drink this shit. It's not even coffee at that point. Oh yes, would you like to enjoy our espresso? Yes, if it comes with a gallon of milk and sugar. Oh, you mean a latte? Yes. Then I'll drink it. Would you like 1 gallon of milk and sugar with that espresso? Of course. There's no other way to drink it. 1 gallon. That's the ratio. My previous life as a barista, they taught me the proper ratio for a latte was 2 ounces of espresso and 1 gallon of milk and sugar. That's how you make a latte. Thank you, David. I thank you for funding my funding my addiction. We're all in the bargaining stages here. It's good. We're not at the intervention stage yet, so this is good. I need that coffee money because we're not at the intervention stage yet. That's way down the line. That means I still gotta be in the throes of my addiction. It's like we're way far away from anyone sitting me down and go, Jeff, this needs to stop. Let's see, the bargaining stage can last, dare I say it, years? I'm open to that. I'm open to the bargaining stage being years. I'm okay with that. I'll make that bargain. See, it's all about bargaining's the best stage of addiction. Hot take. Bargaining's the best stage of addiction. The actual prime addiction stage kind of sucks because you're in this addiction. That's why it sucks. The bargain stage is it's great. It's a perfect balance. In fact, probably never need to leave it. But that's a bargain I'm making. That's also a bargain I'm making. And then even when the intervention stage comes, I'm going to be bargaining then. When John finally sits me down and says, Jeff, things you stop, I'm going to bargain for my life. I'm going to make all the bargains. John, I'll pay you, name your price. How much for you to shut up? How much money for you to shut up about this? And he'll name a price and I'll pay it. That's bargaining. Bargaining, hot take, best stage of addiction by far. Yeah, but I'm going to bargain the fuck out of my way of that intervention. You don't understand how good at bargaining I am. You have no idea. You're going to be like, he's right. You made a great bargain. We sat you down. We all had the essay that we're going to read to you. But you go, man, he made a hell of a bargain. You know what? I'm gonna put down, I'm gonna table my intervention for a later date because he's a hell of a bargainer. The key to a good addiction is being a hell of a bargainer. Look, I'm not saying I could sell used cars for a living, but I could sell used cars for a living. Look, I'm not saying I could sell you a pyramid scheme. I'm just saying I could sell you a pyramid scheme. Look, I'm not saying I could sell you a crypto coin, but I could sell you a fucking crypto coin. I, I'm not saying I'm selling NFTs, but I'm selling NFTs. Like today. In fact, oh, NFTs. Oh, NFTs. I mean, listen to that, right? That's even delicious. I'm sure this is delicious for you. That's like ASMR. That's peak ASMR. That is peak ASMR. I think that's why I like coffee. You get a little ASMR and a little coffee. Look, I'm not saying I sell NFTs, but I sell NFTs. Look, I'm not saying I do. I want to do one of those, you know, those YouTube ads where it's like, I'm in my garage. Yeah, that's one of my Lambos. Oh, there's my third Lambo. Yeah, like, and there's, yeah, yeah. Yeah, my private jet's taken off. Anyway, what I want to talk to you about NFTs. Maybe I'll take out a YouTube ad for my music that way. I don't know how you'd do it. We go, yeah, it's just one of my songs playing in the background. Anyway, and check out my Lambo, my Tesla. But like, I really want to talk to you about is like reading. I read 30 books a day. Yeah, that's how I got all this. Oh, here, check out this link below. It's a link to my latest track, my latest EDM track. But yeah, like just 30 books a day. I tell you, that's how you do it. Yeah, sure. I only read the first page and the last page, but you know what? Skip the middle. That's all I'm saying. Oh, there's my rare bird. That's a rare bird that I rented. I mean, own. The problem is this cup's about to expire. That's the problem with tiny cup. That's the problem with tiny coffee. That is the problem with tiny coffee. Now, oh yeah, knowledge. That guy, the knowledge guy. Wait, I was just looking at his videos the other day because they're so funny. Mario Lopez? No, that's E News. Mario something, right? Isn't that his name? The guy who started that trend? Mario? No, it is Lopez. It's Ty Lopez. That was the dude. Ty Lopez. Knowledge. Knowledge. All right. All right. This week in spreadsheet baseball. Still in first place. That's fucking sweet. Fucking sweet, bruh. Still in first place. Fucking sweet, bruh. Don't need to really do shit with this team. I'm fucking kicking all the ass. 671 winning percentage. That's like unheard of. Means I'm gonna win 100 plus games. That means I'm the man. Though I don't predict this team's gonna win the World Series because this is the league that's fucking nerfed by the commish with a bunch of 80 plus players that I don't have. So I know how to win the regular season. I'm probably gonna lose in the playoffs. 2, I'll lose to the Tigers. I don't understand how this team's being mismanaged. He has all the talent in the world and he's not winning shit. But I'll probably lose in the playoffs. What a mismanagement. God, look at all this talent he's got. But let's still check on him. Who's killing it with this team? I got third base defense is really underrated in this game, and this guy's making all the plays at third, which I do appreciate, and he's playing some short for me, which is good. Let's see how he's doing good at short. He's doing no, he's not doing great at short, but he's not my starting shortstop. But then also this guy's playing all the third base defense. Can't hit though. Can't hit his way out of a brown paper bag. But look at that. He's Let me do the math. He's 133% better than average. Not 33%, 133% better than average. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, find me somebody who's 133% better at anything in life than you. Well, actually, that's probably pretty easy to do. I think most professional basketball players are probably at least 133% better than me at basketball. That's actually it's very easy to do. But this guy's in the pros and he's 133% better than the rest of the pros, which is cool. And I know these are not real players, but I'm not delusional. What else? Curious. This is my best player. He's always injured, but he's fucking sweet. Plays defense and hits. Plays valuable. He's 25% better at second base, which is his second most valuable defensive position, so that's good. And he plays a mean right field where he's 160% better. It's fucking nice. Just don't get injured. Let's see. This guy's got a bum ankle and a bum hamstring. It's going to keep coming back. Fuck. Got a bum ankle. And this is one of those guys played in the 1800s. Check it out. I think in the 1860s or 80s. 1880s, yeah. Fucking cool. Pete Browning, still with us, man. Still with us. That's cool. Yeah, anyway. This team's going to kick all the regular season ass and then lose in the first round. All right. Can't wait for that. Here's my favorite league, Sandlot Legends. I'm in a tentative first place in this one. Now, there's a potential trade that I can make, but here's the thing with this league. I'm sweating. My favorite league, I'm in first place, but I'm sweating the Brewers. They're younger, and they're good. I got a game and a half lead on them. They're younger, and they're good. Now, I made all those defensive adjustments with this team, and since then we've been on a fucking roll. Let's see, like our record in July's got to be great. Yes, in June we were rough. For fucking 14-6 in July. So these defensive changes I made are good. But you can always be better, and the Brewers are on my heels. And the question is, and I do have a big series against the Brewers coming up. Let's look at the schedule. At the beginning of August, yes. I got 3 games against Milwaukee. Now, here's the thing. We're going to assess weak spots. Here's the thing. Part of my success has been putting Mr. Defense at second base. But he's been a money suck at the plate. He's been a black hole at the plate, just imploding. But he's saving all the runs. Oh my God, he's almost 200% better at second base. Again, it's only 60 innings. It's like one sample size alert. When it gets to about 100 innings, it stabilizes, I find. So, anyway, the potential, I have a potential, again, I do play this with humans, I promise. I have a potential pending trade that I could pull the trigger on with the Giants, and it would be for this guy. And this guy plays defense and hits. And so, in theory, he's an upgrade over Mr. Herbert Murillo there. But I'm tentative because we're on a roll. I'd be giving up my first-round draft pick in the coming draft, which is fine because if you look at the coming draft, it's good at the top, weak at the bottom. I'm probably going to pick in the 20 to 24 range. That's where I'll be picking in these, and there's just nothing there. So I'm okay trading my first-rounder. That's not the question. The question is, do I interrupt my streak for... See, this guy's going to give me good defense at second base. He's not going to give me 200%. See, like, he's currently 50% better at second base. So do I give up 200% better defense at second base for 50% better defense and somebody can actually fucking hit? I mean, in a vacuum, the answer is yes. But we're not in a vacuum. And it's like, in a vacuum, it's an obvious fucking answer. And long term, it's a good answer. He's young, and he's actually a very valuable player. How good is he at short? Historically, he's great at short. So I should probably do it. Maybe I'll wait one sim and see how it goes. But God, what I really need, if I wanted to put distance between me and Milwaukee here, is I need another banging pitcher, and they're just not available. They're just not. There's nobody's going to trade their banging pitcher. Um, the only one I haven't even talked to the dude yet, but the only potential target would be that guy in the White Sox. Yeah, McDowell. He's 34, I think. But he's 34, and I also don't think he would trade him for a first round. Maybe, yeah. Maybe if I offered my first round pick for this guy. But there's reasons not to. He's 34. He might regress to the mean when I trade for him, meaning he's kind of outperforming his historical performance, which means if I get him, he may. Yeah, he's never had a FIP this low. FIP is fielding independent pitching, which is valuable. Not as valuable in historical leagues. It means all the stuff. If you take away the defense, what is the pitcher responsible for? Strikeouts, walks, and homers. So he's been great in that department, but he's historically not that good, which means if I trade for him, he may, give me like a 90 FIP. And ERA wise, he's kind of above his norm too. So I probably would just trade for that young blood guy instead. But I'd be fucking pissed if I make this trade and suddenly we're not on that hot streak anymore. But, streaks aren't predictive of future performance. They're just correlators. Oh, I did want to check how this guy's been, because I got different lineups. I got a, let's see, custom lineups. I got a road versus right-handed, a home versus right-handed, and I got my lefty lineups. But my weakest spot is probably road versus right-handed. I want to see how he's doing road versus right-handed. Or just how he's hitting righties recently, because I know he's killing it in July. Does it include road? Let's see, time frame July. No, he's not killing on the road in July. He's home. So there is a role for that Youngblood dude. But see, God, he hasn't had. Let's see, is he hitting anything in any situation? He's got an OPS of 2 in July, which is abysmal. He's striking out 24% of the time. Horrific. He's doing absolutely fuck all. Is he doing anything in any scenario that I can play him, bat-wise? No. He's particularly awful. He's just awful everywhere. What kind of brand of awful are you looking for? But he's killing all the defense. I've never seen somebody play second base this good. But it might come down when C hits 100 because I think that's unsustainable. I think here's the thing. My gut says do the trade, but I'm having a hard time visualizing it succeeding. It's like I need to see it in my mind's eye working. Maybe one more sim will push me over the edge because this is probably going to come down next sim because there's no way somebody can have a season at second base that's 200% better. It just doesn't happen. Like the best you'll see is like 90% better. Nobody has an efficiency over essentially 1100. Anyway, I'm sure this is all very exciting since my coffee's running out. Okay. Music time. God, Tiny Coffee's about to run out. It makes me sad. Makes me sad. Let's see where we are. What do we have open at Logic? Logic, what do you have for me today? Oh, I don't want to work on that. I don't want to work on that one. I don't want to work on that one, Logic. All right, we're gonna look on how long. I guess. Is there a wait? Here, let's do a demo at the end of this stream. Is there a demo anybody wants a demo request to go over? Any old tunes anybody wants to check out? Have we any old tunes that we need to get to? That we'd like to get to? Anything from Night or Time. Virginity Rocks? We could do Virginity Rocks. We could do Virginia. We could do a little Verge Rocks. A little Verge Rocks. Verge on the Rocks. A little Verge on the Rocks. When the World's at Stake. Holy shit! Do I have a demo of that? I mean, that's an old computer. That's like two. That's like 3 computers ago. Let me think about that. There's no way I have. That's. I don't think I. I mean, I'd have to go dig into my attic for that one. And even then, there's no fucking way, right? I'm trying to think what the oldest demo I have is. Like that's like backed up and that somewhat at my fingertips. Let me check my Google Drive. I have a bunch of stuff backed up there in theory. I mean, I could probably maybe find the audio file for. It's just on an old computer that I think turns on. I don't know. I'd have to really go looking. Let's see. What's the oldest shit? My drive. I have something called GarageBand files. Let's see. I thought I did. Right? I could have sworn I do. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, these are old. Are these anything? uh, well, I got. This is real old. So, you know that? Remember that song from Yellow Jacket? Yellow Jacket. The song Yellow Jacket used to be a song called Merry Go Round that it was an idea I had for years. Um, we could look at it sometime. I mean, that demo goes back old, but I can't. Looks like it's. These are some old Oregon Trail ideas, but I'm surprised they're not anything that made the show. Let's see what else. Miscellaneous. What's in miscellaneous? Nope, that's nothing. Uh, Oregon XML. No. Hmm. Holy cow, there's people doing work all over my house right now. I got like window washers and stuff. What's this one? Just demos. Jesus Christ. And someday, well, I mean, God, there's so much shit. Project GarageBand projects. What's in here? Oh, this is Working Boys. I also have demos for an entirely different musical uh, called Flesh that I don't know if I'll ever do anything with. It's another, yeah. I was, yeah, yeah. Flesh, on it, a little tidbit. I don't think anybody knows. Ah! Was an idea we were considering before Guy didn't like musicals. We were actually working on it, and then we couldn't quite crack it. Like we were close to doing it instead of Guy didn't like musicals. But then Nick and Matt had a hard time cracking the idea, and then they just like what clicked was this older idea they had called The Guy Didn't Like Musicals. And then we just ran with it because it was coming much more easily. But I've been working on Flesh on and off of but I can't even really figure it out. Tonally, the original idea for Flesh was it was kind of supposed to be like Mad Max on stage, like that, like kind of Urinetowny, but more, but darker, like wild, and the whole pitch is just the opening. Like the opening line of the musical is, in the dystopian future, there's only one thing left to sell: flesh. And it's the idea that in the future there's no food. These people have moved inside this dome, and basically the rich eat the poor. And the poor sell body parts to the rich. So that's the whole concept of the musical. And I got some tunes for it. I got some demos, but the book, and I even wrote a script for it. But upon further review, tonally, I don't really like it. And so then I tried to rewrite the book to make it way dark. I don't know. It's an idea I can't really crack. And the songs, because here's the problem with the minute you start to take a musical kind of seriously, it's a real tricky line. Because musicals are inherently, I don't even, are inherently goofy. Because it's always a little goofy when somebody stops to sing and breaks the reality of the situation to stop and sing. It's like even Les Mis, God bless it, has this slight problem where it's like suspension of disbelief is very hard in a serious musical. That's why very few are successful at it, because there's just something inherently goofy about stopping to sing. So tonally it's tricky, and so that's why I wrote a kind of a goofier script. But the idea, I don't know. So that's why it's maybe more of a movie idea. But even then, it's not a great movie idea because there's a lot of holes in the idea. So anyway, this is why it's kind of stuck. The idea's stuck in limbo. Um, anyway, sidetracked. We got a bunch of those demos, but maybe we can do some of those demos at some point. And then there's just, without that idea, there was really just one character I liked. There's this character called Marker, and he became, well, in the latest version, he's the narrator of the show, and he's kind of this guy who's survived what in the world is called the market. The market is where basically the poor sell off body parts to the rich, and Marker's a guy who's kind of like turned it into a profitable business. He's a survivor, and he's turned, like, basically he's a character where his character looks like a diagram of the human body, where he basically he's marked up and scarred in every way, like one of those, here's the human musculature, whatever you call that. He looks like that, like a diagram of a human musculature, and he takes out a marker and he marks his cuts, and then there's a lot of cutting, so it's not a pleasant night exactly. So that's why tonally it's very dark, but he's turned it. He's able to survive it. Like, he knows where to cut so it doesn't kill him, and he's a total mess. But anyway. He's an interesting character, and so then I turned it. It's kind of just this monologue from this character about the world. Was my latest idea about it. Maybe it's even just a one-man show about a guy monologuing about this world. But then I go, where do these songs fit in? And I go, it's kind of goofy. It's still just goofy to take an idea that seriously and then have him break out in the song. That's the problem. That's the inherent problem with the idea. Is now if now like if you want to make it goofy like Urinetown, of course you can do it. You know, Urinetown's dark, but it's also goofy because. But I wanted it sent to see if I could do something darker. But then the demos I made don't really. I don't know. So it's one of those ideas that who knows if I'll ever do anything with. Um, but it's there and there's songs for it. Anyway, what was the point of all this? I don't know what the point of all this was. And also, Marker speaks in like a Cockney accent. It's fun. He's a fun character. And also, what's I just really like that's the whole I that's the only thing I like about this idea is his character. And he's not good. He's not bad. He's I guess you would call it neutral, where he understands the rules of this world, and he's a survivor. So the original story, I'll just go into it. The original story is about this dad and his daughter. And this dad is very protective of his daughter because he knows what a horrible, horrible world they're growing up in. But she's precocious and she escapes a lot. And she gets essentially the original idea. She hangs out with Marker. She like runs off to hang out with Marker because Marker's cool, and he plays with knives. Like he's an objectively cool guy to hang out with. And but of course, her dad, father, with what if she found out would be horrified. And but one day, basically, I forget how it happens. She accidentally cuts off her finger playing with knives, and then immediately through a series of events, the finger ends up on the market, and then it gets sold. And basically, what happens is her father finds out and tries to make a bargain with the buyer. And the buyer is the evil villain of this. In the original idea, the villain is an evil chef. It's an evil chef, which is it's a little tacky now to think about it. It's a little on the nose. But this basically the chef buys this finger and this is like it's the most exquisite finger I've ever seen. Like it's a truffle or something in the world of high end, the culinary world. Anyway, and she's like, it's just the most things I could do with this finger, the stews I could make. And but the father finds out, and we'll do anything to get his daughter's finger back. And basically, they make a bargain, and he's like, yes, I there's on one condition I will return this finger to your daughter, and it's basically if I can eat you alive. And so, because she's like, I've never eaten anyone alive. There's another detail, and that's very sordid, and dark and twisted. But basically, that it's as long as I can eat you alive. I think maybe in front of your daughter. I think that would be a fair trade. And he makes the trade, and she fucking kills him and eats him right in front. Well, before it's right in front of his daughter, Marker rushes the daughter off, like kidnaps her because he knows that this evil chef is not going to stop at his father. That she definitely plans to eat her too, because she's the most exquisite meat. She has the most exquisite finger in all of the dome. So Marker rushes. Actually, this idea is kind of cool. Anyway, Marker rushes her off as her father's being eaten alive. And, she's in total fucking shock, the daughter. So she doesn't quite know what's going on. But Marker's the only one that knows the way out of the dome. And no one knows in this world knows what's outside the dome. They don't know if it's a nuclear wasteland. They don't know if they're underwater. They don't know if they're floating through space. Nobody has any fucking clue what's out there. It's all legend and rumor. But Marker's the only one who knows the way out. And what he does to save her life is he essentially, in the theatrical version, it's just like the way out. It is like a trapdoor, right? And basically at the end of Act 1, he shoves her down the trapdoor to save her life. But also he's the only one who knows what's out there. But he's like, if you stay here, they're gonna kill you. And it's the only way. It's the only place. This is a dome. It's the only place they're gonna hide you is outside the dome. So he shoves her down the trap door, and that's the end of Act One. And it's kind of cool Act One because you don't know what the fuck's out there. It's the big mystery. But it's the only way you can spare her life. And also, during Act One, he's trained her in the ways of what in the world it's called donating, because you donate your meat to the blood. It's a nice political spin on it. But she's been trained in kind of survival, at least how he knows survival. And so at the end, up in Act Two starts, and years have passed, or the time, how much time's passed is unclear. Some time has passed, and Marker's just telling stories about the dome, and then actually Act Two. I do like how Act Two opens. Act Two opens with these two, basically cement workers, because it's a cement dome. They're cement farmers, and they're eating their can of synthetic food because they're poor and they can't afford actual human meat, right? So they eat their basically can of plastic, and they're like, it's very much. Wait, what are those two blokes from Shakespeare called? The two soldiers who. I know somebody in chat probably knows. Anyway, they're talking right. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. It's the whole bit. It opens on Rosencrantz and Guildenstern eating their synthetic food and goes, "What do you suppose is in this?" And they just start coming up with theories. It goes, I don't even forget the jokes they make, but they're just like, I think in the world, the synthetic foodstuffs is called like gruel. Gruel has a number, gruel 42 or something. And they're like, what do you suppose it is? And then for the first time in their life, they read the ingredients. And they're like, okay, modified food starch, propylene glycol, and then it's like, what is the joke? But it's like, and then like human foodstuffs or something. They go like, no, you don't think. Anyway, they find out there's like they get the shit bits of people. They're like, actually, I want to figure out what this is. I'm gonna find out what the bit is. I'm gonna log into my, because it is a good bit. Of course, I can't remember the password of this fucking script software. Oh yeah, the password I wrote doesn't match. Get out of here. Actually, it's probably my email, the whole script. Come on. What? This isn't a... Search. This is terrible. This is a terrible search feature, Gmail. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Let me just get to the Act 2 part. Okay. Okay. All right. Here, let's read it. So yeah, Act 2. It's at the edge of the dome. Some time has passed. A construction site. A couple of cement farmers, Krantz and Phillip, are eating out of cans labeled rations. Do this week's rations taste a bit different than last week's? No. Well, thank God. I was worried there for a second. They eat. I just thought of something. What's that? If the rich are eating people, what are we eating? Rations? Yeah, but like, what's in them? Never checked the fine print before. And they turn around the cans and read the labels. See glycerin, propylene glycol, synthetic foodstuffs, and what? Well, you have the same can as I do. Oh, right. Synthetic foodstuffs and people. Oh, what a relief. You got my heart rate up there for a second. I was worried we were eating something bad. Oh, me too. Stop eating again. what if, and I'm just spitballing here, what if people were something else? Something bad. Like something the government was trying to keep from us. What's worse than eating people? Well, I don't know. Shoes, maybe? Like eating shoes? No, hold on. Manufactured on the same equipment as shoes. Well, what's worse than shoes then? I don't know. Feet, maybe. Yeah, but feet is people. Oh, right. So there's nothing worse than eating people? I guess I don't have a concept of what worse is. Guess anything goes. It doesn't say what kind of people they be feeding us. Like, what if we was eating bad people? Holy shit! Like real bad people. Like big fat jerks. Oh, fuck! Like that soup salesman who disappeared a few months back. Oh, his shitty daughter. Oh, God. What if people is ugly people? No, our government wouldn't do that. That'd be cruel and unusual. Yeah, but wouldn't it kind of make some kind of fucked up sense to give the pretty people to rich folk and feed us the ugly people? Wouldn't that make some kind of fucked up sense? Oh, God, people need to know. Everybody, people is ugly people. People on the can is ugly people. This is so out there. Marco, you won't believe it, but people is ugly people. And then Marco's like, I don't believe it. I feel betrayed by me government. Me too. It ends here. No more ugly people. No more ugly people. That's so many hats on a hat. So it says on the can that there's people in their food, and they go, well, that's not so bad, but it would be bad if they fed us ugly people. They're saving the pretty people for the rich and the ugly people for the poor. Anyway, so that's kind of I think I'd amend this. I think I would change it to just, I think the joke should be, on the can it says like synthetic foodstuffs, and they go, what could that possibly be? And they go, what if it's people? And then they go, they wouldn't do that. They go, what are you kidding? There's a whole market for it. That's what this whole thing's based on. He goes, Jesus Christ, that's horrible. That's the joke. It shouldn't be this hat on a hat on a hat. So I'd rewrite it to be that. They go, can you believe that people eat people in here? They go, that's the whole premise of the show. They go, it's horrible. So that's what the joke should be. But I do like these two characters. That's for the first time they're reading the back of the can. And then, okay, so then at the end of... Yeah, they draw the line. Yeah, that's the joke. They draw the line at eating ugly people. Well, eating pretty people is fine, but eating ugly people, well, now that's a step too far. But I think the joke should just be they don't realize that that eating people's bad. Because they've been eating plastic. They've been under the impression they've been eating plastic their whole life. Anyway, so at the end of that scene, basically... Yeah. So that goofy scene happens, and then at the end of it, basically the daughter returns from the dead. She is like a shadow of her former self. She's like really all scarred up and looks like a bloody wraith. Like she kind of looks like Marker now. She's returned, and everybody goes, like, holy shit, it's the devil. Like, these two characters run up, oh my God, the devil, and they run off. And it's like, oh my God, it's the ghost of all the people we've eaten. And they run off, and she's, so she looks like Marker now. And Marker's not totally surprised, because he knows what's out there. And basically what we find out is that in order to survive, she had to, it gets really dark, so I guess trigger warning or whatever, very dark, she had to eat herself to stay alive. Because I was also interested, I was like, in the wild, like if you're stranded in the desert, like, can you eat yourself to survive? It gets really dark. And it's like apparently like you kind of can. I mean, like anyway, but that's kind of what you do when you starve. Is your body starts to eat yourself from the inside out. So, so that's what she had to do to survive. And she comes back seeking revenge on for her father's death and for what this awful chef, evil chef, made her do. And also, like, what there's this love interest who also kind of led to her cutting off her finger in the first place. Like, she did it to kind of maybe impress this kind of like prince character. And we find out, she meets the prince again, but she doesn't look at all the same as the way she did before. And it's kind of an interesting question of, kind of what happens when you lose all your beauty, and that prince character is kind of, so he has an interesting, he struggles with it, right? And then what does it say about him? What does it say about the world? But it's also it tackles with themes I'm interested in, where he goes, it's like, yes, he comes across as a kind of a dick because he doesn't seem to be as in love with her now that she's lost her beauty. But at the same time, she's hell bent on revenge, so she's not the same person even on the inside. So she's changed both externally and internally. This previous character, revenge wasn't even in there. You wouldn't think this character would ever be capable of that kind of dark motive. But she comes back, and that's who she is. She's not the same person. She's this hell bent wraith on revenge. And so, yes, the prince character is shallow in one sense, in that he no longer loves her because she's lost her physical beauty. But also, he makes the case, and it's up to you to whether to decide it's true that she's not the same person because she's lost her inner beauty as well. She's a total, single-minded, driven. She's driven by evil, essentially, and or something dark. And so she basically, she starts seeking her revenge, and the way I have it now, and it's the whole chef, it's like a lot of chef stuff. It's like she becomes like a famous chef to get in the world of the evil chef, and I go, this show shouldn't be about chefs. So that's also a problem I have with the idea. It's like, gives a fuck. But in the current iteration, or the last iteration, she becomes a famous chef, and that's how she gets in the same room, parties, as the evil chef. And then eventually there's like a twist that her father's still alive, but like basically this evil chef has like kept his heart beating. And so he's just a beating heart now. And it has a kind of a dark revenge ending where the daughter gets her revenge. She kills the chef, but at what cost? I think she ends up poisoning herself and feeding herself to the evil chef. So she kills both herself, which is kind of the message of a good revenge story. Is revenge comes at a cost. It comes at a cost of your soul. It comes at the cost of your soul. So she basically poisons herself, gets the evil chef to eat her, and killing the evil chef in the process, but also killing herself. And then it ends with, but what also was the byproduct of all this is that they're all able to escape the dome in the end. So she's shown a way out that you can survive on the outside. So actually, as I walk through it, it's like it is a cool story, but it has the problem of being a musical in that singing it makes it a little more goofy, and in what is otherwise kind of a dark allegory, and yeah, I don't know, but I do like those story beats now that I talk about it. Um, and then I did update it recently to make it more like a Greek myth. where it's way more. It's like just a straight drama. And like and basically instead of on the outside, it's like basically in the updated version or the last attempt I made of it was on the outside, or it's more of a kind of in-between world where it's like there's just these evil spirits out there, and she has to make a bargain with these evil spirits that um, basically, I mean, it's basically the same idea, just with a few more dressed up a little differently. But she makes a bargain with these evil spirits that, because all these evil spirits want to do is consume human flesh. And so once she gets outside the dome, we actually see in this idea we kind of see outside the dome. In the version I just told you, you never see outside the dome. But in this version, you see outside the dome, and all she gets out there, and these evil spirits just want to consume her. And she makes a bargain. She goes, because basically what these evil spirits want to do is become flesh. They think by eating it they will become flesh. And she makes this bargain. She goes, "I will let you inhabit my body if you get me my revenge." And so basically it explains. So they take over her body, and then Act 2 is she's just on this fucking murder spree. It's essentially just a tonal shift. So, and then there's songs written for that idea, but I don't think they tonally. It's just goofy for these characters to sing, is what I've run up against. Uh, Go the opera angle and make it a rock, like a rock. Yeah. That increases the workload by like double. Uh, but then I was like, maybe the easiest iteration is just to have one character tell his story. And then, but then that's fucking weird if he's singing all the songs and stops to sing. You go, what are you doing? Uh, I mean, I'd love to see it realized too, but I don't have the capital to do that. Like the best I can do is like one of these like nightmare time Zoom readings of it or something. But again, I got to solve the problem of how I want music integrated into this idea, because the minute it's like you can make the Urinetown version of this, or the minute they start singing, it's just kind of goofy. Uh, which is okay, but it was not really the energy I intended. Like I have. Well, maybe I'll play the demos. No, the demos. I don't know. I'm on the fence. And also the other thing is I don't like the idea that everybody's a fucking chef. It's just too on the nose. It's like in a world where the rich eat the poor, we're gonna look at all the chefs, and I go, who cares? It's so on the nose, and it's like, uh, but so that's why like Act 2 is like her like learning to become a famous chef, and I go, is that really what I want to be doing with this idea? Um, and right, and any good story needs a good villain, and so basically the evil chef, it's like her motivation is simply like I think in this script, she's just running out of, like, the market is drying up. Like there's no good meat anymore in the world, so she has nothing good to cook. So she's on the lookout for like the next ingredient, the next exquisite ingredient, and that's when she buys this finger. She goes, "Oh my God, I'm re-inspired." And I go, "Is that a strong enough? I don't know if that's strong enough villain who just wants a better ingredient." It's like, uh, because a great story requires an actually great villain, and I go, I don't know. I don't know. Um, so I go, maybe she shouldn't be a chef. She should be something else entirely. Uh, Oh yeah, you could play the demo of the dad asking if he's like a crazy old man. I'm not sure what that refers to. Um, well, but here's the thing, and also as a movie idea, it actually in theory works better as a theatrical idea because as a movie you'd have to answer a bunch of these questions. Like how are they actually living just off of human food? Wait, so you have water, you have running water? Like it works more as allegory than it does in a movie. You got to answer all these logistical world like questions. Whereas a theater tale, it's more of an allegory, so you suspend your disbelief for like, wait a minute, how does this economy actually work? How it's like what? It's okay, so they're eating plastic. You start in a movie world, script, you have to answer these questions, and they're not really the ones that interest me about it. Um, so I think it works actually better theatrically, but I'm not so sure as a musical. But then the other problem that plays are boring. So so we're kind of running the same problems, which is why we did guided and like musicals instead, which is a much clearer, obvious idea. Um, it's a much clearer. Uh, oh, maybe I yeah put a demo at one point on I put a few of these demos on Instagram. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, again, but I look at that song and I go, it's cheese in a world. It's a cheese in an idea that doesn't have room for cheese. That's the thing. Like I even wrote the Daughters I Want song. It's called Anywhere But Here, and it's very Disney. It's a very Disney song. It's like a Disney I Want song, and I go, where is room for that in this idea? It's fucking weird. It's tonally inconsistent. Um, it's a tonally inconsistent idea. It's a cool song, but it's like not for tonally for this show. Uh, so it's got a tone problem. Yeah, well, the beauty about theater is you can leave way more to the imagination than you can in movies. In movies, you gotta answer way. You have to have answers for way more questions, or not even have answers. You have to show answers for more. Uh, you have to show more than you do on a theater. You can leave way much more to the imagination in theater, which is the beauty of it. Uh, it's like in theater you would accept this idea there's a dystopian future where the rich eat the poor. Okay, let's go. In a movie you'd go, wait, how do we get here? How does the economy work? Is this actually possible? Wait a minute, what, they have running water? Wait, like where the fuck does that come from? uh is magic, is this a magical, like you just because you're trying to see it realized, your mind needs these questions answered that don't need to be answered in theater. um and you go, and then you ask questions like, can you actually survive, selling your body parts to, probably not, right? So this idea doesn't work. These are the things that happen in movies that don't happen in theater. You're willing to accept a much more broad premise in theater. Well, I don't think it's about people who watch movies. I think it's just the inherent nature of movies is like the beauty, like movies attempt to bring things to reality. Like the that's the whole fascination with turning this into a movie, is it brings it one step closer to reality. It's like, in theory, that's why people's like, well, this video game, let's see it as a movie, and you go, but why would you want it? Well, you go, because in theory it's one step closer to reality. We're going to see real people possibly do it. So that's why. So that's the problem you have to solve. So you have to bring this idea one step closer to reality, which doesn't suit this idea because it's just not suitable for this idea because it doesn't really hold up under scrutiny. It's more of a allegorical thing. Um, but it's like the musical thing. I just have a hard time like the minute I see any of these characters and describing stop to sing, I go, ugh. Even if the song's good, I go. The minute they sing, the tone shifts. Even in like, it's like, name your favorite dramatic musical, and it has this problem, but it barely skirts it. You know, it's yeah, but I don't. Plays are boring. Plays are fucking boring. Here's my take on plays. Plays are fucking awesome to be in. I love being in plays. I love acting in plays. I could do it 7 days a week. But to watch, plays are fucking boring. and if you disagree, you go, well, I saw this play on Broadway and it was awesome. And you go, yeah, but did it have a celebrity in it? And you go, oh yeah, it did. And you go, yeah, you're probably getting a lot of mileage out of that. When's the last time you saw a play? I mean, there are exceptions to every rule. There are exceptions. But on whole, if you went and saw a play where there was no celebrity in it, and you didn't know anybody in it, how good a time did you have? But I do love being in plays. In fact, I love it. It's my favorite type of acting is to be in a play. But to watch, no thanks. uh, yeah, that's Flesh. It's like I can already tell it's a tonal problem. So I'm not excited to share these demos because they make me cringe a little bit. I go, it's a little cringe. A cool idea. It's cringe that these characters stop to sing about domes. Like this marker character is too cool to stop and sing about a song called Under the Dome. I have a song called Under the Dome. And I go, yeah, he wouldn't do this. He wouldn't fucking do this. If he realized he was, yeah, he's too cool for that. Um, but it's not cringe if it's self-aware. Like Urinetown isn't cringe because it from the jump is self-aware. From the jump, like the opening line is "Welcome to Urinetown, the musical." It's totally self-aware. So it buys anything can go now. You can have all the cringe in the world you want because it basically says, "Welcome to this cringe show," and you go, "All right, okay, we're all right. I'm ready for some cringe," but I don't think this show works if Marker goes, "Welcome to Flesh the musical." Maybe if he just flat out is aware that it's a musical, and it's just Urinetown's about as close a vibe as you could get. But the idea is I wanted to try to do Mad Max and have that tone on stage, which I guess I mean Urinetowny. Welcome to Flesh, the musical. Uh, that actually helps a little bit, but it's again, I don't. Yeah, if Marker's just basically the cop from Urinetown, and he's fully aware that this show's a musical, that definitely helps the idea get closer to being a musical. Ironically, a stupid little thing like that. And then little Sally comes out and sits on his lap and goes, so Marker, this is a show about cannibalism?" And he goes, "Yes, little Sally, this is a show about cannibalism. Are you going to eat me?" "I'm thinking about it, little Sally. I'm thinking about it." "All right, here's a song." I've seen bits of Repo. Nothing stuck with me. I checked out a little bit of it. I don't think anything stuck with me. I didn't particularly catch on to it. Uh, in the first song, he eats the little girl. It would be a fun take on play on Urinetown that he does that. He just eats little Sally at the top of the show. Actually, that's not a bad fucking idea. He just because it solves a totally self-aware problem. He just eats little Sally. And he goes, this is not that kind of play, little Sally. Oh, what kind of play is it? Oh, you'll just wait and see. And they finish the song and he eats her. It's fucking dark. It's not that kind of show, little Sally. What kind of show is it, Marker? Just wait and see. You'll have to wait and see. Just like the rest of these people who paid a lot of money to see the show. How much did they pay, Marker? Too much, little Sally. Too much. Yeah, but also it's like ideas like that, and it's also the thing with this show. You go, and then he eats her on stage. You go, yeah, but how do you fucking actually do it? If this were a Broadway show, they'd find a fucking incredible way to do it because they can do that shit. But like, you would just be an actress going. You go, Arr! You go, Arr! Arr! Yum 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 yum. You go, well, I guess that's cool. And then lights down. It would just be you go, ah, and you go, yum 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 yum. Lights down, and that's your payoff for that joke. And you go, yeah, fucking theater. Arr! Yum 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 yum. Oh my God, no! Lights down. And you go, oh, that was crazy. Oh, wow, that was fucking crazy. Also, yeah, I know, but it's like, God, it's musical. It's just. Also, this idea has to have a stage with a trap door for that, and that's means a giant theater. That means a giant theater, and that means money I don't have. Uh, so it's like you can't just shove her off stage. You go, yeah, that's get outside the dome, go. And she goes, oh no, and you go, oh, that was so stupid. You need to have the trapdoor effect. There's really nothing cooler on the stage. You ever seen a show where actors go through trapdoors and just disappear? Uh, I mean, you could do a pit, I guess, but like, and then she jumps off into the pit, and you just hear a bunch of cymbals and drums knocked over, and you go. I guess the answer is just to make the thing a fucking comedy, just a goofy comedy, because it's the only way. Because you can't really take it that seriously, unfortunately. Uh, the fact when she jumps off in the pit and all the drums are knocked over, I think that is kind of that's kind of funny. Uh, yeah, so that's that idea. Um, it is strange to spend so much time on ideas that are probably never going to see the light of day. Well, I guess it just saw the light of day though. There you go. All right. guess I don't want to. I don't even want to do this. I don't even want to do this. I don't even want to play this. Is there anything I want to play? Um, yeah, problem is ideas cost a lot of money to realize. Like, you know, movies you need a cool 5 mil. Musicals you need a cool 200 K. Um, outside of that, you can do a Zoom reading. uh, yeah, I might just be calling it a stream. I don't want to do any music today. Um, unless there's something we desperately want to look at, but nothing is getting me out of bed at the moment. I don't think I can do a multi-stream widget, unfortunately. Uh, maybe the solution is at some point just to abandon the multi-stream. Um, I'm glad you liked the Kurtversations, the C Kurtversations. That was a good talk. Yeah, but I don't think the chat box widget integrates both streams. That's what I'm saying. It's like I had to pick one. Um, I mean, I can check real quick. Let's see. Or we could do a test. Okay, here's a chat box. Where'd that go? It says it's here. Wait a minute. It says it's here. Okay. I don't understand why it's not showing up though. When I click on it, it's working. Oh no, this is a demo. Oh, there it is. But okay, so is this a multi-stream chat or just one of them? Here, let me play with the settings. How do you make it more of a theme? Let's see what boxed does. Wait, where'd it go? Is it working? Oh, there it is. Cool. How's that look? Is that good enough for government? Make it bigger. I'll make it bigger. Come on. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look. Okay, now we're in the listen. We're in the bargaining stage of my addiction, so I'm gonna leave this entirely up to you. I'm gonna make a bargain here. I have a tiny coffee in the fridge. I can continue chatting, possibly touch some music if I'm allowed to get that tinier coffee. If I'm not allowed to get tinier coffee, I think this is the end of the stream. This is the bargain. So I propose a bargain. It's up to you. Are you going to? We're ending the stream. That's not the bargain I'm making. I'm not making the bargain that I will chat without the tiny coffee. So we're in the bargaining stage. I'm either ending the stream, no more coffee for the day, or I get the rest of that tiny coffee in the fridge and we keep chatting. This is the bargain. It's a bargain. Okay, we got here. Wait, I'm gonna make. It sucks I can't make multi-stream polls. You'd have to. Well, actually, I'll just have to do it. I'm telling you, I'm a good bargainer. I'm real good. It's gonna be fucking hard to have an intervention with me because I'm such a goddamn good bargainer. We're gonna create a poll on. Let me get them both open. Poll, right? That's how you do it. Isn't that how you do it? Isn't it /poll? Oh wait, there you go. Wait. Do it. Why isn't this working? Yeah, I just typed /poll into Twitch, right? It's not fucking working though. Well, the poll's gonna be on YouTube because it's driving me fucking crazy. How do I phrase this? Should I get one more tiny coffee? Yes. Stream. Yes. Continue. Chat. Sing. But you are an enabling Eric. No. Stream is over, but you are a buzzkill Benny. Go. Create. Oh, it's too long. Here's the pull. Should have one more tiny coffee. The perfect pull. Well, this early return's pretty good. Oh, it's getting close. Oh. Oh. I love a community of fellow addicts. This is good. This is very good. This is good. God, I love the bargaining phase of being an addict. I fucking love the bargaining phase. Best phase. It's pretty clear. I mean, like, Buzzkill Benny, you got some work to do if you even want a shot at this. I'm going to give this poll one more minute. This poll gets one more minute. And it looks like it's over. I'll be back. I also got to warm up my tiny coffee. I'll be back shortly.
This is for all the scooter lovers. Can you give me a ride like this? Do you know how to drive like this? Can you feel alive like this? Will you ever love like this? I want you to give me a ride like this. Can you give me a love like this? Do you know how to drive like this? Ever feel alive with this? Have you ever arrived like this? Can you give me a ride 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 like this? This is for all the scooter lovers. Can you give me a ride like this? Do you know how to drive like this? Can you feel alive like this? Will you ever love like this? I want you to give me a ride like this. Can you give me a love like this? Do you know how to drive like this? Ever feel alive with this? Have you ever arrived like this? Can you give me a ride 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 like this? This is for all the scooter lovers. Can you give me a ride like this? Do you know how to drive like this? Can you feel alive like this?
All right, we have our second tiny coffee. This one comes in 2 cups. This, I'm not going to tell you how old this is, how long this has been in my fridge. I won't tell you that. Still hits the spot. It's not like a little mold killed anybody. Oh, it has. Oh, it definitely has. Oh, okay. Well, it's not like it's gonna get me. Oh, it might. Oh, okay. Well, there's worse ways to go. Oh no, there's no worse way to go than mold poisoning. Oh, I still choose it. Look, I took a fish oil with my second coffee. That makes it more healthy, right? Nothing like fish and oil and coffee to really get you going in the morning. Took some omega 3 fatty acids with my second tiny cup. All right, what are we chatting about? All right, you made the bargain. What are we chatting about? Look, this is the bar. You made the bargain with the devil. What are we chatting about? Look, it's a tasty mold. Yes. Oh, I get it. It's probiotic. I get it now. Right. Cool. Of course. Aspergillus ticor. Anybody? Name your favorite fungus or bacteria. Aspergillus ticor. Anybody got a favorite bacteria? It's my favorite bacteria. You know how I know that? Nobody's going to ever get this. Aspergillus, from my understanding of Aspergillus ticor, is the bacteria that you like find on like your sink, where your like toothbrush has been sitting for too long, and like where your soap container, like your container of soap, you take it up, there's like bacteria and stuff. That's Aspergillus ticor, I do believe. And the reason I know this is from a movie that I guarantee no one here's ever seen. It it might be the best time traveling movie of all time. It was made for $7,000. One of the most inspiring movies ever. I was obsessed with the movie for so long in college. I mean, for sure, it's a top 5 time travel movie of all time. It's a fucking genius. Probably my favorite indie movie of all time. It's fucking genius. Nobody? Anybody? I'll give you the clues. Made for $7,000. I'd say in the year 2004. What makes it so good is it actually, like, it scientifically figures out time travel, like theoretically how it would work from a scientific. Primer nailed it. Primer is so good. It's so good. It's a movie you can watch it 10 times and you have to watch it 10 times to even begin to understand it. But it doesn't just function on the nerd level, which it functions better than any time travel movie on the nerd level. But it also dramatically and just on an entertainment and drama perspective is so good. So that's why it works. If it was just a nerd time travel movie, but it's not boring, it's so good. It's so good. It's my favorite indie movie of all time. Made for $7,000, but by an engineer, and you go, and it deals with time loops and theoretically, if this were to actually happen, what it might look like. Oh yeah, that also, if you're in the time travel one, it's a foreign movie called Time Crimes. At least that's the English translation. It's called Time Crimes. Another good one. Not as nerdy. Still pretty nerdy, but not nearly as nerdy. But that's also a really good one. Time Crimes. Um, yeah. But did you guess Primer because you looked it up or because you've seen it? Power of Google, yeah. Oh, Primer. God, it's been a long time since I watched it. And what that movie does so many things well. Uh, First of all, right, it's got the time travel nerd unlock. Like, good luck poking holes in that one. And then two, like just the story structure and the drama is great. But then three, the dialogue is so fucking good because it doesn't take the time to explain shit to you. It's just you're watching these. It's a movie about these engineers, and you're just watching them talk in their world and then in their language. They're not slowing down for you. And the scene, and also it does the great thing about scenes. You enter in the middle of them and you leave early. There's no hi, how are you in this movie. It just drops you in on the action. It doesn't treat you like a baby. It's you have to catch up to the world. And that's why I love movies like that. It's like, don't fucking try to treat me like a baby and take me into your world. Show me your world. I don't care if I don't understand it. It's more interesting if I don't understand it. And so that's why it's so good. And you totally believe you're watching engineers invent time travel. And then all the repercussions are awesome. And it's for 7,000, and then it checks the box of being 7,000, made for $7,000. Yeah, it's fucking love it. Yeah, it was like amongst my friends, it was like we for years it was the dream to make a movie like that, a high concept movie that you could actually afford. Uh, an indie high concept movie was the idea that we like my friend group was always trying to come up with. Because it's not that it's easy to make a movie called like How I Feel, the movie, and you go, yeah, like don't get me wrong, any making a movie is fucking hard, but like no, we were like, can you make a high concept as in like sci-fi, whatever, action, fantasy for fucking $10,000 or less? And the answer is fucking no, except for they did it. They did like the one way you can do it. And well, no, that's why we all do theater, is because the ideas we come up with are all high concept and would cost millions of dollars to turn into movies. But you can do them for just hundreds of thousands of dollars in theater. That's why musicals. It's like we'd all be loved to be making musicals, but musicals cost, well, at least from our experience, 10 times less, at least 10x less, 10 to 20x less. It's like to make Nerdy Prudes Must Die the movie, right? You're talking a budget of 20 million, $5 to $20 million. Nah, okay, you can do it for 5 million, probably. But it's like, I mean, you could, but you want it to look like I Know What You Did Last Summer, which had a budget of probably 50 million back in 1998. What was the budget of I Know What I Know What You Did Last Summer? Budget. I'm going to say a cool 50. 17 million US, but that doesn't include. Okay, well then, what is that now? All right, we'll say that's the budget. This doesn't include marketing though. 17 million in what year is it? Did I get it right? 98, 97. In 97, inflation now. What is that? It's 31 million today. So there you go. It just cost a cool 30 mil to do Nerdy Prudes Must Die as a movie today. That's it. A cool 30. That's all. So that's why musicals. I'm trying to think of other movies that trust their audiences as much as Primer, or don't care about your audiences. Like don't worry about your audience catching up. Those are always the best. But I'm trying to think of other examples of this. There's a movie called Syriana that does a little bit of this. It certainly doesn't wait for you to catch up. It's a political thriller, Syriana. It's George Clooney and Matt Damon. That movie doesn't wait for you at all, which is good. Um, yeah, those are the best movies. It's just here's what's happening. Catch up. Um, what other movies do that really well? This is a fun exercise. Let's look on some like movies for nerds. I mean, I wonder if that'll maybe throw me some ideas. Yeah, no, this is not what I'm talking about. They're like, like Alien. I go, this is not a movie for nerds. I mean, like inside. I'm looking like for inside baseball movies. Inside baseball movies. This is going to give me baseball movies. Yeah, I'm not looking for the best 65 baseball movies of all time. Go see it. Well, even a movie like Moneyball, which is kind of like nerds for baseball. That movie doesn't. That movie helps you catch up a lot. It's not really you're watching. It's it's close. It's close, but it does treat you a little bit like a baby, like you've never watched baseball before. Just a little bit, not full. Doesn't go full. It's still a good movie, but it doesn't go full. Full nerd, full disregard. It still takes time to explain a lot of shit to you. Ready Player One. I mean that. I mean that movie takes all the time to explain. Well, I mean it drops you into games, but God, Ready Player One. It's like, yeah, no, I didn't enjoy that movie. Um, because that was a movie with no rules at all. Just there were no rules, even within its own universe. And they constantly shift from game. Anyway, any question? I do gymnastics. Just whenever you use. I mean, I'm fine with it. Listen, if you make $1 million off your floor routine and my song, then let's talk. But yeah, go for it. Uh, but anything below $1 million you can keep. But once you hit the $1 million mark, let's talk. Like, if you're going to the Olympics on my song, that's totally fine. Go for it. Uh, oh, David. Yeah, but yeah, David. But also, David Lynch for sure doesn't wait for you to catch up. But also, David Lynch. It's like there's also nothing to really catch up to. It's like he doesn't even understand a lot of the shit he puts on, you know, on screen, and he'll tell you that. It's like it's all dream logic. A lot of it's dream logic. So there's really nothing to catch up to. Um, there aren't that many movies that do this, or at least I'm just not thinking of them. Let's see, movies like Primer. It's gonna be terrible lists. It's gonna give me time travel shit. Yeah. Yeah, none of these are at all similar in the ways I'm talking about. It's like time crimes. I mean, not really. It's just the world about time travel. But movie like Memento, yeah, that kind of does it, where it just drops you in. But that's more of a meta thing, where it's not like the dialogue is, inaccessible. I guess I'm thinking like movies where the dialogue's kind of inaccessible. Uh, yeah, like what Dune should be, sure. Sure, sure, sure. Um, well, even the world of Mad Max does it pretty good, where they have it has its own language, kind of, and it doesn't. It adheres to its own language, but it's not that inaccessible. But it's just these characters have a way of speaking, and it's kind of new. In that sense, I guess any Shakespeare movie. Because I do believe, even in his time, Shakespeare's dialogue was heightened. Like, it's not like people were talking like that. From my limited understanding. Yeah, I've seen Source Code. I actually watched it on a plane recently, I think. Source Code's okay. Oh, Duncan Jones also, he did, with the other one. Which one were you talking about? Duncan Jones also did Moon, right? Got problems with Moon. Uh, I used to think about Moon a lot. What was the problem with Moon? Source Code's okay. I think. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just another Groundhog Day movie. And Groundhog Day is it's a great idea for a movie, and I think that's just it. You go. So it's Groundhog Day meets a train. Meets the guy on a train. And you go, okay. The better version of Groundhog Day is Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, because that's just it's a great idea. The better idea is an action movie. A Groundhog Day meets an action movie. And you go, and so Edge of Tomorrow, the problem with Edge of Tomorrow is it's awful branding and awful title. It's such a shit title, and that's why nobody saw it. But it's a great action movie with Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise. They even like try to retitle it to like Live, Die, Repeat, and you go, God, these are just terrible titles. It should have been just called Tom Cruise versus Aliens, and then everyone would have saw it. And it would have made $2 billion. Like, you don't have to overthink this, and he would probably be on for it too. Tom Cruise versus Aliens, the movie. Everybody goes sees this immediately. And the movie's objectively great. But a movie called Edge of Tomorrow, you're like, what the fuck? What is this? Is this like a romantic, like indie romance? It's like, come on, guys. Branding isn't that hard. Tom Cruise versus Aliens would be the most popular movie of all time. And it's too bad because you had it. You made it, and it was great. But you called it Edge of Tomorrow, the most vague, nothing title that's ever titled. And millions were spent on this marketing. Boggles the mind. Um, yeah, what was the deal with Moon? Why didn't I like Moon? Moon. I'm gonna review the plot real quick. I know it's doppelganger movie. Um, Moon movie. Not Sailor Moon. Moon, Duncan Jones. Also, I think there was like a plagiarism thing with this. Like, it was another movie that was. Is Moon a remake of an obscure Italian movie? Is that what I'm thinking of? Anyway, all right. What was the problem with the movie itself? Duncan Jones movie. Let's see. Need to refresh. Just give me the Wikipedia. There we go. The near future, right. She's only companions artificial in 2 weeks before she meets his doppelganger, right? The overhears Gertie. Maybe my problem with the movie is one of these promise of the premise problems where it's like essentially what this movie is Sam Rockwell hanging out with himself. Like you do all this elaborate sci-fi buildup just to get Sam Rockwell hanging out with himself. And you go, okay, how much do you like that? Maybe some people love that. You know, like that's not a great, really, for a sci-fi setup, that's not a great enough payoff for me. I think that was my biggest problem with the movie. I go, he's on the moon, he's working this job, you go, whoa, anything, it's a sci-fi setup, anything can happen. Aliens can come, whatever, who knows? But the payoff is he finds another one of himself and then they hang out for the rest of the movie. And you go, yeah, it just doesn't scratch my itch for a sci-fi movie. That's inherently the promise of the premise. You go, the trailer is him talking to himself, and you go, whoa, there's two of us. Oh, ain't that crazy? And you go, yeah, I guess it's crazy. You're right. It's like, why does this need to be set on the moon for this? It's like we're not getting a whole lot of moon stuff. We're getting a lot of, there's two of us. It's like The Odd Couple. It's like The Odd Couple set on the moon. And you go, okay. Another movie that has this movie doesn't have as big a problem as this other indie movie called Another Earth. This was a big indie hit back in like mid 2000s or late 2000s. And first of all, that title of the movie, go, whoa, okay. It's an intriguing sci-fi title. And you go, well, this movie's got to be wild, right? There's another Earth. And instead what you get is two people hanging out in a house for an hour and a half. And on Earth. Hanging out. And you go, it's a cheap trick. It's and also, if you've seen the movie should begin where the movie actually ends. You go, that's your interesting movie, not the hour and a half that preceded it. So a lot of movies have this problem where you go, oh, you landed on the interesting idea an hour and a half too late. That's Another Earth. And everybody got hyped because of the ending. I go, yeah, but you're forgetting that the hour and a half before it was so boring that it didn't deserve that title. It's like, it's a cheap trick to sell like an indie drama, like an indie play, essentially a play movie as a sci-fi something. And you go, no, it's just a play movie. Like, It's like if you did Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and you set it on the moon and you called it Space Invaders and you go, "Wait, but it's just Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Why are you tricking me like that?" The other movie that does this is, remember those Cloverfield movies, the ones that they rebranded as Cloverfield movies, like the one where they're just hanging out in a basement, they're trapped in a basement. It's a trapped in a basement movie, but it's a fucking Cloverfield movie. Are you kidding? They just did it for marketing. It was clearly a script, had nothing to do with Cloverfield, but then they just decided to make it a Cloverfield. The Cloverfield, is that the Paradox one? I don't remember which one it was called. But it was like the second one, I think. And I go, this is not a Cloverfield movie. This is a hanging out in the basement movie, but you just slapped it on. You know what also movie did it, but that was a hit, is Joker. Joker's is a big trick that was played on the public. It's not a Joker movie. It's a remake of Taxi Driver, and then they just slapped Joker branding on it. And you go, here's the thing: if the character was called Joe, and it was just the movie wouldn't change. That's how you know they tricked you. Because if you took away his character name, the movie doesn't fucking change. It's just a remake of Taxi Driver. It's about a man who goes crazy in the inner city. And this time he's a clown. Great. If you could retitle the movie Joe and it doesn't change, it's not a Joker movie. So that's my biggest problem with Joker. It's a Joker movie in name only. It's not an actual Joker movie. And it continued the trend, which I don't understand, of making Joker sad and miserable. And you go, and how, like, it continues the trend of how dark can we make the Joker? Oh, Heath Ledger was pretty dark. Oh, but can we go even one step darker? Oh, okay. Jared Leto's giving rats to people. Okay, cool. He's even darker. Now let's do a Joker where he's just Taxi Driver. And he's like, and I go, this is not the inspiration for the Joker. This is so far away from what the Joker originally was intended to be that we've arrived at something completely different. Anyway, and the Joker rant. Also, and then continue also what I have in general, like with movies like the Joker, I hate origin stories. Nobody gives a shit. I don't care how the Joker became the Joker. I want to see the Joker be the Joker. Why would you start a movie before he's the Joker? Who gives a shit? Your imagination's way more interesting than the banal story they came up with. Oh, he was a fucking clown in New York City? How, like, that sucks. That's his origin story? Guess what? That fucking sucks. He's the Joker. Your imagination could come up with infinitely more interesting ideas as how he became the Joker than that shit. So origin stories, on the whole, suck ass. Because your imagination's way more interesting. And the whole point is you like the character from the point you like the character. I want to see a Joker movie where he's the Joker, not the guy before he was the Joker. So the fascination with origin stories, I'll never understand. Fuck them. Who needs them? It's like they're coming out. Oh, the Penguin movie's coming out. It's before he was the Penguin. You go, who cares? He's only interesting when he becomes the Penguin. It's not interesting. I don't care how he got there. I just care that he got there. Right. And it's like, yeah, anyway. Now, I guess like an origin story I do like I like Batman Begins, and I'm trying to think why that one works. That one kind of works because it is an origin story, but he is being Batman kind of throughout the whole movie. He just doesn't have the costume yet. Like he immediately he's immediately kicking ass in that movie. He's training, he's fighting in the streets, he's already in the criminal underworld. So it's like it's essentially a Batman movie, just he hasn't put on the cape until halfway or three-quarters through the movie. So that one works because he's Batman basically from jump. Just hasn't gotten the costume yet. Yeah, they should make like like again, it's kind of the Predator rom-com idea, or it's just a generic rom-com, and at the end they go, oh, it's the Cloverfield monster. They go, oh, this is a Cloverfield movie. Right. It's like the movie ends on their wedding, and then the fucking Cloverfield monster just rips off the roof to the church, and you go, oh my god, it was a Cloverfield movie the whole time, and you didn't know. Holy shit. Yeah, I just don't understand the fascination of goes, okay, this thing was a hit, but what happened before he was this cool character? Who gives a shit? What happens next is the more interesting question. It's always the more interesting question. But like, who was he when he was boring? Yeah, the Joker's cool. But what happened before he was cool? No one cares. No one cares. Yeah, we could make a cool Joker movie, but what if we made an uncool Joker movie? What would that look like? Here's the thing. You know, Joker versus Batman's the coolest thing ever. But what if Joker wasn't versus Batman and he was versus nobody? What would that look like? Oh, nobody cares? Oh, nobody cares. You know what? They're a great pair. What happens if we split them up for no fucking reason? Oh, you have a knockoff Taxi Driver script? Let's make it a Joker movie. Wait, we can make this likably chaotic character boring and sad? Oh, we can do that? Let's do it. How much? Yeah, Joker's way too much fun. How can we make him like more boring though? Oh, how much money you want? He's too fucking fun. Let's make him more boring and sad. I want to feel sad when I watch a Joker movie. How much? How much you need for that? Like a Joker movie shouldn't be fun. Let's not fucking do that. Let's please not do that. You know, I was watching the 1992, 90 Tim Burton Batman, and I was like, this Joker's like I'm enjoying him too much. Like this, I don't like this. Can I please? I want to feel nothing about the Joker. Like I just want to feel nothing about him. Can we do that? Oh, we can. Great. Thank you. Like he's just too mad. Like I don't like this madness thing. Like I can't relate. I can't relate to the Joker. I need to relate to the Joker. I want to relate to the Joker. Why? Oh, just well because I want to. Okay. Yeah, I can make him relatable. You know what the Joker needs to be? He needs to be more relatable. That's what we should do with him. But yeah, but isn't like Batman supposed to be the more relatable? Ah, fuck that. I want to relate to the Joker. Great. Okay, you just want to make him. Let's put him in an office job. He works a 9 to 5. Yes, very good. And then how about this? At the very end of the movie, he just starts to put on some makeup, and then we go to black, and you go, great, great. That's your idea. Okay, okay. But it's not really a Joker movie, is it? What are you talking about? Well, at no point in the movie is he ever the Joker. Right. Very good. This is what we want. Stamp it, print it, let's go. How much money you need? Right, but the point is, it's not interesting to see somebody turn into a villain. It's interesting when they're the villain. That's the whole point. Like, name your favorite villain. Do you care when they weren't a villain? No. You like them, or you're interested in them because they're a villain. And you want to see them do villainous things. Right, but the point of a villain, you don't need to relate to a villain. That's kind of their intrigue is you can't relate a lot of the times. So you can't relate to them. Nobody should be able to relate to the Joker. Nobody. That's kind of the whole point. He's chaos. He's pure chaos. And so to make him relatable is inherently antithetical to his existence. I don't think there's been a better critique of Joker just saying. By making him relatable, you are inherently destroying what he exists for, his character. You've destroyed the character. You've destroyed the Joker by trying to explain him. By trying to normalize the Joker, you've destroyed the Joker. He's no longer the Joker. The minute that movie the minute the movie exists, you've ruined the character. That's also, it's like, yeah. I mean, and that's also why the Joker in the Dark Knight's great, because his origin story's complete bullshit every time he tells it. You'll never know. You'll never know how he became the Joker, and that's the intrigue. That's part of the intrigue. That's most of the intrigue. And guess what? We're fine with it. We like it that way. If he sat down in that movie and told the truth about actually this is what happened, and he had a very sincere monologue, and for some reason like it was proven out to be true. If they have a detective scene where we actually found out this guy, yeah, he was a professional clown in New York City for 15 years, and he didn't really like his job, and one time he got mad at his boss. Yeah, look, check it out in the file. Yeah, one time he got mad at his boss. Hey Batman, check this out. Yeah, this Joker guy. His name was actually Joe Schmo, and one time he got mad at his boss. Yeah, he worked he worked in Uptown for a while. He got mad at his boss, and then he was like he tried stand-up comedy for a hot second. Yeah. It wasn't very good. He wasn't a very good stand-up comic. But here's a little tape of his shitty stand-up comedy. Okay. Yeah, and then he made it on a fucking TV show for a hot second. You go, who cares? Who cares? Because he's inherently supposed to be otherworld. There's something otherworldly about him. There's something completely unrelatable about him. That's why he's scary. Joker's only scary because you can't relate to him. The minute you can relate to him, the less scary he becomes and the less villainous he becomes inherently. There's nothing more scary than something you can't understand. God, drove me crazy that the whole hype around that movie. You aware they just completely ruined this character, right? Oh, you want me to associate sadness and boring with the Joker? That's what you want me to feel? You want me to feel nothing when I think of the Joker? Oh, well, okay. Then I guess this movie works. Let's give it an Academy Award? Maybe? Sure. Okay. I feel nothing, so I guess that's good. Yeah. All right, here's an Academy Award. Sure. Yeah, you did a good job. I believed you're a sad guy who put on some clown makeup once. Yeah, that feels right. It's inspiring. It's truly an accomplishment. I feel so sad now. Um, oh, you killed all my enthusiasm for Batman and the Batman comics in the Joker. Oh, you killed all of it. Oh, well, that's okay, I guess. That's you didn't need it anyway. And it's like I'd much rather watch a guy put on makeup in front of a mirror while he's sad, and then have his boss yell at him. I think that's a good scene. I think that's riveting, and can't wait to watch that. And then oh yeah, and he goes because New York's such a bad place. He steps out and he gets mugged, and that upsets him. Yeah, that would upset me too, because I'm just like the Joker, I guess. I guess we're all just the Joker, ready to. We're all the Joker, ready to just become supervillains, I guess. And yeah, I tried stand-up comedy once, and it didn't go great. It didn't go real good, and nobody laughed. So I guess I'm like the Joker, I guess. And I think I'm funny sometimes, but I guess other people don't. And I had a weird crush on my next door neighbor once in my building that wasn't real or something, or who cares? Whatever that whole shit was about. His next door neighbor wasn't real or whatever that fucking beat is. He was like in love with the next. I don't remember. It was like all in his head or some shit. Who cares? I once lived in a shitty apartment building too, yeah, so I must be like the Joker. I guess we're just alike. I guess that's the point of this movie is I guess I'm a bad supervillain too, and I'm capable of all the things the Joker's capable of. I guess so. All right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go home, put on some clown makeup, I guess. Ah, oh my God. How to just kill your enthusiasm for a character. Yeah, I was bored. It was late. And I was drunk, and I decided to become the Joker. That's the origin story. Um, I'm the Joker now. Hey, Batman. Yeah. Oh, I'm not much. I'm not much of an antagonist to you. Is that because I'm just a boring guy from New York who worked a shitty job and does sucks at stand up? Oh, you don't. Oh, Batman, you don't want to fight me anymore? Why is that? Oh, because I'm boring. Yeah, I guess I am. Actually, now I want to see the Batman movie where he fights the boring Joker. Where he fights the actual Joker from that Joker movie. And it's just the saddest, most boring thing ever. Uh, oh, well, watch out, Batman. I stood on top of a cab once and got some people to show up. And I got some people to show up when I stood up on the cab and got them pretty riled up. I did that. Hey, watch out, Batman. I stood on top of a cab once. Uh, no, okay, oh, yeah, but I did murder a talk show host. I murdered a talk show host. Okay, why? Why did you do that? Um, well, I told you because I was working a shitty clown job, and I got mugged on the street once, and I was bad at stand-up comedy, so I murdered a guy. Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna put you in jail. Oh, okay. And you'll probably never escape because you have nothing special about you. Oh, okay. So this is the last I'll be seeing of you, Joker. Go rot in prison. That will do. uh, did he have a tragic birth where neither of his parents showed up? Is that what happens in the movie? I don't even remember. Uh, actually, it's like in this iteration of in their world, the Batman versus Joker, it's like Joker is more like anonymous, where it's like everyone's the Joker. Everyone's the Joker. See Batman, everyone's the Joker. And I go, oh great, yeah, I get it. Everyone's the Joker. Could be all right. It's fucking anonymous. I get it. It's society. See Batman. Society is the Joker. You go, oh, yeah, I guess. Oh shit. I guess you're right. Fucking society is the Joker. Okay. Good luck, Batman, fighting society. And you go, uh huh. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty fucking hard. Yes, it is my master plan. My master plan. You have to fight society. Joker's master plan. You have to fight society, Batman. Oh, okay. Great, great. Congratulations. I don't think anyone actually cares, Joker, but yeah, okay. But Batman, did you know that I was once a bad stand-up comic? Did you know that? Oh, really? Oh, that's crazy. It is crazy. Can you think of anything crazier? Yeah, I can think of a lot of things crazier, actually. You won't believe this, Joker, but I also tried stand-up comedy once too and it didn't go great. It's not for everybody. Shut up. No, it's true. I think everybody at some point tries stand-up comedy, and most of the times it doesn't go well. What? I thought it was unique to me. No, no, it actually apparently you're not very unique at all. But I got mugged outside once. Outside, I got mugged on 34th Street once. Yeah, who hasn't? Who? Yeah, great. No, but I really didn't like my job. Oh, you really didn't like it. You're right. You're right, Joker. I can't believe how you got to be the way you are. It's crazy. It's crazy. You didn't. I'm so sorry for you. You didn't like your job once. I really didn't like it though. Yeah, man, that's fucking crazy. You're right. You know what? I fear you so much now. I've never met anyone that really didn't like their job and tried stand up comedy once and was mugged outside um, in New York City. Jesus Christ. I don't think I could possibly begin to profile you. You are the most scary thing I've ever encountered. I think you're being sarcastic, Batman. I am. I'm being very sarcastic. I'm being very sarcastic. You couldn't have come up with a more boring origin story if you tried. Did I tell you I did? Jesus. God, it gets worse the more you think about that movie. Uh, I stood on top of a taxi once. Fucking crazy, man. That's fucking wild. I underestimated you. Joker, I underestimated you. You stood on top of a taxi once. Fucking nuts. Jesus. How am I ever going to stop you? How am I ever going to stop you, Joker? There's so many taxis. And you're going to stand on all the taxis, Joker. Jesus Christ, you're going to stand on all the taxis. Oh my God, Joker's going to stand on all the taxis. What the fuck am I going to do? Alfred, this madman is going to stand on all the taxis in Gotham City. But he calls it New York. It's actually New York. Uh, sir, that sounds like pure unadulterated madness to me. I think you should stay at home forever, where I can keep you safe, Master Bruce. Um, I don't want you anywhere near a madman who will stand on top of taxis. And do you know that he tried stand-up comedy once? Come home at once, Master Bruce. Please come home at once. The world is far too dangerous for you. Master Bruce, please, I can't have you staying out too late with madmen who will stand on top of taxis. It's a frightening world, I tell you. I need you to come home at once. I've got some hot chocolate on the stove. Please, sir, whatever I can do to entice you to come home. I don't want you out there with villains like the Joker. Yeah, but like Bane broke my back once. That nothing compares to a man who was stunned on top of a taxi, sir. Trust me, I'm British. I know. Trust me, sir. I've dealt with people who stand on top of taxis, and you don't want to be anywhere near their kind, sir. Please, please do come home immediately. Alfred is very concerned for your safety. I don't know, Alfred. This guy seems pretty kind of like just a guy. That's what he wants you to think, sir. You see, he is actually society. You see, he is society, actually. That means he is everyone and everywhere, all at once. That is a movie. Don't you see, sir, the purpose of all this banality, the purpose of all his jokers' banality was that it was on purpose. Was that, you see, he is everyone, sir. Because we must relate to our villains, sir. They must be relatable, so we see that we are all villains in our hearts, sir, and that it could be any one of us at any time. See, so that's why his origin story is so banal. See, it's done with intention. You see, banality done with intention is not banality at all. It's intentional banality. See, as long as banality is done intentionally, then what? Well, then it is still banal, but it is done with intention. So what you're saying is, if I go see a movie that's intentionally boring, that I must appreciate it. I Yes, well, when you put it that way, sir, it does seem like a stupid idea. It does seem stupid. It does seem antithetical to entertainment. But trust me, it was done with intention, sir. Okay, so let's extend this further. So if I make an intentionally bad food, but I serve it to you and you eat it, does it become less bad because I intentionally made it bad? Well, you put it like that, so no, it's still very bad food. Okay, but this logic doesn't apply to movies? No, sir, it appears not. They get awards. It appears they get awards for this banality. If it's done intentionally banal, then it will get an award. But this is only in movies. Yes, it appears to be only in movies, sir. I don't think you can write intentionally banal books. I don't think anyone would read them. So this only applies to movies. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For some reason. For some reason, it only applies to movies. Interesting. Well, then I think I'm never going to see a movie again. That's very good, sir. Do please come home. Hurry. Yes, banality for the sake of banality. Yes, welcome to the world of movie making. Yes, this was not Michael Caine's Alfred. This was, I don't know. It's I don't know who this is, but it's not Michael Caine. Sir Michael Caine. Sir Michael Caine will be something like this, sir. Sir, yes, sir, sir, I would not suffer. I would not suffer a man who stands on top of taxis, sir. I would not trifle, sir, sir, sir. I would not trifle with a man who would stand on top of a taxi. Now do, please, come home. When I was in Burma, sir, when I was in Burma, a man stood on top of a taxi, and he was not to be trifled with, sir. Please, please, Master Bruce, I beg you, do come home, sir. I tried, when I was stationed in Burma, sir, I tried stand-up comedy myself. And I did not do very well, sir. Stand-up comedy is not for everyone, sir. Please, Master Bruce, do come home. This man is not to be trifled with. All right, I gotta go. I have a dentist appointment. But that second coffee, Jesus Christ. Sir, please do come home. I tried stand-up comedy when I was stationed in Burma, and it did not go very well, sir. I'd have to say that no one laughed, sir. No one laughed, no one found me very funny, and I became a very dangerous man, sir. There's nothing worse, Master Bruce, than a man who fails at stand-up comedy, who fails at an open mic, sir. Nothing more dangerous. When I was in Burma, Alfred, did you just like do everything in Burma? Oh, when I was stationed in Burma, I went through a phase, sir. I went through many phases when I was stationed in Burma, sir. Uh, I went through, have you ever heard of synth wave, sir? Synth wave? Yeah, yes, yes. You know, there's chill wave, and then there's synth wave, sir. Synth wave was big when I was in Burma. All right, Alfred, I gotta go. Please do come home, sir. I'll have a nice pot of tea ready for you, and I'll show you some chill synthwave, which is a genre in of its own, sir. Okay, Alfred. Please don't try stand-up comedy on the way home, sir. Please stay away from all open mics, and do not climb on top of any taxis, sir. Uh, all right, everybody. Yeah, I'll see you some other time. Gotta go to the dentist. Gotta get me pearly whites. Pearly white. Actually, I gotta get my pearly whites.